It's finally here, folks. The 2018-2019 Andy Pooped His Pants fantasy football season. We're going to do a mock draft for the very first time ever tonight. I can't wait.
It's the inaugural mock draft. Looking forward to it. We've been waiting for this year for quite some time. Jedediah Althouse comes in the champ. We'll see what things look like.
We have all the keepers, so we will be revealing them throughout the show.
Some of them are already revealed on our big board if you zoom on in. We spent about 6 minutes trying to put this together. So we're going to try and run through the first 3 rounds of how we see the draft playing out. We will be skipping ourselves. We will not be showing our hand, if you will.
Right.
So if we were not in there, this would be what we anticipate happening. Here we go.
All right. So with the very first overall pick, we have Brendan, but keep in mind, a lot of running backs taken with the keepers. So, he has his choice between Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, and Kareem Hunt. In my opinion, I think he goes Leonard Fournette. Did well last year. Number 1 overall pick.
Overall pick is Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
So I think Brendan is an interesting one. Brendan has elected to keep Carson Wentz in the 12th round. He will need to get another quarterback at some point because Wentz may not be available. I think Barkley is just a little bit too much. It says too much upside. Brendan's a gambling man.
Really?
I think he's going with Barkley,
The
first ever rookie, first overall pick.
Number 1 overall pick. Just ignore the cell phone in the background.
Charles Barkley will be the number 1 pick. You know what? Why don't I move on to the second pick? The second pick is Tricky Ricky Snoots. Tricky Ricky Snoots is elected to take Jordy Nelson on a new team. He will also be in the 12th round, so really a free player. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Tricky Ricky and with Jordy overall. I think here you have to go Fournette. You don't have a running back, especially with one of these top two picks. You're not picking until late in the 20s for your second pick, so I think he goes Fournette here.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I think Barkley slips a little bit. If you can slip being a rookie running back. Mm-hmm. I think he goes Kareem Hunt with the second overall pick. Had a great year last year before he got injured.
Yeah, again, with the Barkley thing, he's catching balls out of the backfield. He's the number 1 back. It'll be interesting. We saw what Zeke did last year in limited time.
True.
Next pick, you want to go with Jake?
Sure. With Jake, I think the first receiver comes off the board with Julio Jones.
Julio, all right, very interesting. So Jake is an interesting one because he's got DeAndre Hopkins in the 3rd round. So we already know he's got a heavy-duty wide receiver. But I actually agree. I think he's going to go wide receiver in back or to start this thing off. I do not think it's Julio Jones, though.
Really?
I think it's Antonio Brown. To me, the top guy, undoubtedly, from a wide receiver standpoint.
Oh, yeah. Great choice. I think I missed that one.
Well, that's okay.
So, you know what? Jake might have done the same thing, so I'm going to go with Grim, taking Antonio Brown right here.
All right. I thought that was an interesting twist. So we got Grimsley Bear, who has Melvin Gordon, everyone's favorite Melvin, in the 3rd round. So he's already got a stud running back. I think that at this point, he's got to take the $1 million man, Odell Beckham Jr., at the 4th pick. I don't see how we can go Julio. I think it's ODB.
All right, I think this is where Barkley finally goes. Ragger, taking Saquon Barkley with the 5th pick.
If Barkley falls to Rag, I know he will have quite a little semi going on right there. I think Rag's a running back guy. He wants running backs.
Yeah.
We all know that. He's always been that way. I've already gotten Barkley to go number 1. I think Hunt goes to the Raggers.
All right. So next up, we have B-Mac, another running back taken here, Dalvin Cook. Andy had the choice to keep him, went instead of Zeke, so I think Cook goes here to B-Mac.
Very interesting. Now, B-Mac has a huge advantage, arguably the best keeper in the league, with Alvin Kamara in the 12th round.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, just a huge advantage. If he doesn't at least make the money, it's obviously a disappointing season. Candidly, this is the year he should win. If he doesn't win, he may want to rethink his game plan and plan fantasy in general. I do not think he needs to go with a running back. I think he goes big-time wide receiver. Julio Jones is still on the board in my game, so I think he's going with Julio Jones with his first pick.
All right, and then next up we have Jedediah Althouse, and I think he goes with a receiver here. So I'm going to go Keenan Allen.
Interesting. Jed's an interesting one. Jed has elected to keep Russell Wilson, a top quarterback in the 6th round. Jed also is coming in with the 7th overall pick, had an opportunity to take Leonard Fournette in the 2nd round, and has passed on that.
I saw that.
You have Fournette going number 1 overall.
Yep.
I have him going number 2. He passed on that for the rights to Russell Wilson. I would say that was probably the most surprising of all the keepers.
Yeah.
I think here, this is where Cook goes to me. He's, at this point, he's got to take a running back. He's got a quarterback for the keeper. So I think Cook goes to Jed.
All right, and then next up we have keeper, Todd Gurley. Tell us a little bit about your decision
An
there.
announcement here.
Yeah.
I figured, look, I'm in the middle round. Gurley is a number 1 pick overall. If I leave him there, he'd be stuck in my division for sure, as the first 5 picks are within my division. So had to hang on to him. There was a little bit of a thought between he and Christian McCaffrey, but as you know, I do not enjoy white running backs, so I decided to go with Todd Gurley.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Next up we have Johnny Diamond. I'm trying to channel my inner John Hart here.
Yeah.
I think he goes a little crazy. Gronk. Gronk goes a little early here. Not that early. He's only, projected to go 5 or 6 spots later, so it's not that crazy.
So I'm trying to channel my inner Johnny Diamond here, actually, as well. Johnny has decided to keep Josh Gordon. Smoking Josh is going to be with the...
And drinking Josh.
With the woo-woos, smoking and drinking Josh. And I think that what that tells me is, as an owner, John gives no shits. He gives no shits what your personal preference is and what's going on outside of the football field. So I think he's going with Mixon right here.
Wow.
At the number 9
That's
pick.
early for Mixon.
Yeah, it's definitely a reach, but now it gives him a solid running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Okay.
The locker room is not an issue because he's already thrown that to the wolves. So he goes Mixon at 9.
Okay, I'm up next. So
Yes.
if you can...
Ross, there's no question about this. Christian McCaffrey falls to Ross at number 10. He loves this guy. White running back. He takes Christian McCaffrey, no question.
All right, and then JK up next. I think JK goes receiver here. He goes Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints.
That's a great pick at the 11 spot.
You love Michael Thomas.
I do love Michael Thomas. He put up stud numbers last year. He just was low in the touchdown number.
Yeah.
If he puts up touchdowns this year, he's in great shape.
He still has Drew Brees throwing.
Exactly. And you know what? This is the first one we've actually agreed on. I
Really?
said Michael Thomas here as well.
Okay.
This is very much a JK pick. It totally made sense.
Okay.
Oh, and just so we know, JK has elected to keep Le'Veon Bell, which is a 3rd-round keeper.
Right. Good point. All right. Next up, we have Matt decided not to keep a keeper.
So Matt now in his 2nd season, last year his inaugural season, had no keeper. Not his fault. Took over a horrible team. This year, it was his fault because he had nobody that he
had all season to
he could have. All he needed is one guy, and I looked at his roster a couple times. There was nobody that you could keep. I think Matt. The reality of this season is, the goal is really to get a keeper for next year. It doesn't even matter what the record is. I think it's keeper. I think he's got to go best player available. And to me, that is Keenan Allen on my board.
I already had him off my board. He went to Jed 7th on my board. So I'm going to go with A.J. Green here, another receiver.
Yeah. I think you got to go best player available, no question.
And I'm going to grab a beer, so you go next.
Yeah. So next up is Dandy Andy. Dandy Andy had some interesting decisions. It didn't end up being that interesting because his draft pick fell to 13th overall, and so he ends up taking Zeke with his first pick. He could have thought about Dalvin Cook coming back if he had maybe one of the top 2 or 3 picks that may have changed things. But at 13, a very obvious pick, having to take Zeke, which makes sense. Next up is Albert. Albert has elected to keep Devontae Freeman, which I feel like he's been on his team for like 12 years.
It's been a
I'm
while.
not sure how this is still happening.
Yeah.
Maybe we missed count somewhere.
Probably.
So he's already got a good keeper in the 4th round as far as a running back is concerned. I see A.J. Green slipping all the way down to 14. I think this is a real solid pick at 14 to be able to get A.J. Green.
Okay. I'm going to go with Devontae Adams, another receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adams goes here. And I think we're pretty much caught up. we did some mixing and matching here, but
we've got a couple guys that were
a couple guys.
I got Mixon.
Yep.
You got Gronk, mainly on John's thing.
Yep.
So Albert gets that second pick, or the first pick in the second round. Who do you have there?
So I have Mixon going there.
Okay.
I think Albert gets his running back.
And I think
Mixon.
I see no reason why he shouldn't go with a running back here after taking the wide receiver. I'm going to go with Jordan Howard.
Wow.
Yep.
That's early.
It's where it had to be.
Yeah.
It's where it had to happen.
Well, I think with so many keepers that are running backs, there are going to be decisions between mediocre running backs or awesome receivers.
Absolutely.
Like the fact that Howard is in the same camp as A.J. Green is pretty crazy. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Ludicrous.
It's crazy.
What it is.
All right. So then next up, we have Andy.
So Andy's first real pick coming up here.
Yep.
And I think Andy goes running back. I think he's learned from his past mistakes.
Yep.
I think he realizes that he needs running backs and quality running backs to be able to compete in this league. And I think he goes with LaShawn McCoy, which I think is a decent pick at this point.
I actually have him taking the same player.
Really?
Yep, McCoy.
So if he doesn't get him there, he's an idiot.
He is.
That's all that means.
Okay, Kaler?
Matty C with his second pick. Again, I think Matt's goal here is to get the best player available. And the best player available to me at this point is Adams, absolutely, with Green Bay. You have him going a couple picks earlier.
Yep,
I think if he falls down to Matt in that second pick, now you've got Keenan Allen and you got Adams. You've got a solid core from a wide receiver standpoint, and you can make a run within that division, a weak division, which is your run.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so for Matt, I think he needs to go running back after I had him take A.J. Green before. So I'm going to go Jordan Howard here.
Okay.
J.K. next.
J.K. is next. Oh, this was easy for me. I feel like he always ends up on J.K.'s team. He's a little running back. He has like 3 or 4 good weeks a year. Somehow he's on with J.K. all the time. He's already got Le'Veon Bell. He's already got a solid wide receiver. I think Jerick McKinnon is a good fit in this role with J.K. to add a secondary running back.
So you have running backs kind of creeping up there a little bit, which happens in our league every year.
Yeah.
All right, I have, make sure I didn't put him down already, Mike Evans going to J.K.
So that's a solid wide receiver.
Especially in the middle of the second round.
With Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening.
Mike Thomas.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So you're up next. I think for you now have a quarterback with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if we announced that.
No,
Deshaun Watson is your keeper,
Yep.
which is a 12th rounder. You've already gotten your white running back. I think you've got to make sure you get yourself a wide receiver. I think you get lucky, and I think Evans falls to you.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, wait, I can't put that there.
Don't. Just, who knows?
Question mark. We didn't think about that one. All right, so then next up we got Johnny Diamond. Who you got?
So Johnny Diamond. Oh, so John's already got Mixon.
Yep.
He's already got Josh Gordon. And now all of a sudden, his third pick comes along. And who's available for him? Tyreek Hill.
Yeah?
Another abusive, like, maniac of a man.
He tries to have the worst
who just gets so many opportunities.
Yeah.
And John says, you know what? Welcome to the club, Tyreek.
Perfect
So
player
he's
for
got
his
Johnny
team.
Mixon, Tyreek Hill, and Josh Gordon all in the same clubhouse.
I think John has a love affair with Aaron Rodgers, so I think Aaron Rodgers
makes sense.
goes early here.
Makes sense.
First quarterback on my board. And yours.
So I refuse to talk about mine.
Oh, right. Okay. I think, let's see.
My first pick. It's my first pick.
Let's see. I think you go a little bit early with Stephon Diggs.
I do like Stephon.
You put a
Question mark.
Cool.
Big question mark.
All right. Jedediah?
Jed's the next one. Oh, this makes sense to me. This guy is not a sexy pick. He's not sexy. There's nothing sexy about him. No one wants to have sex with Doug Baldwin.
Someone does.
But he absolutely put Jed in the money, and he gave him a 15-win season last year. Doug Baldwin was a solid performer throughout the entire season
It's true.
for Jed, and I think if he falls to him, here with his second pick, he can't help but to turn that into a pick. So now he's got Cook, and then he brings Baldwin back and pairs him once again for the second year in a row with real quarterback Russell Wilson.
And that's early because on my average draft position, he's going 34th with all the keepers taken into consideration. Here he's going about 20th, 21st.
Makes sense to me.
All right,
makes sense.
All right, and then I have Tyreek Hill going next to Jedediah.
Tyreek's already gone.
Yep, he's gone on your board.
He's already gone.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. He's already gone. B-Mac. B-Mac's next up. B-Mac always has like some weird love affair with Tennessee Titan running backs, so I do think that Derrick Henry makes a lot of sense for him here. He's in my mind. He's already got Kamara. He's now got Julio. He thinks to himself, "Oh crap! He's going crazy in his brain. What do I do? I need another running back. What do I do? What do I do?" Maybe he auto picks. I don't know. But yeah, I think that he's got to go with Derrick Henry at that.
My prediction is he's too busy on the chat room that he just completely forgets that he's drafted.
That could be the case.
All right, and then next up I have...
What's your pick for Byron?
T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, well, Jesus.
Hilton followed right after Hill.
He does love T.Y.
He always has T.Y. Hilton.
You gotta have T.Y.
Yep. All right, Ragger.
The Regal one. This is absolutely... I mean, this would be a great pick for him. You had him coming to me. I think Rag loves speed, and he's always been like that. He's very agile. He's somebody that has always got
shifty.
He's so very shifty. He's always got his feet moving. Rag loves speed. I think Stephon Diggs makes a lot of sense here.
All right.
If he can grab him. Now he's got Hunt. He's got Diggs. He's got his keeper.
You still have Gronk available.
Who's his keeper? Oh, we haven't talked about that. David Johnson. Rag's keeper, 5th round, solid, but let's see what happens. His lower body is in complete turmoil. We have no idea what kind of shape he's in.
No idea. No idea.
He hasn't been to camp. I don't know that that's true, but
now you're making up reports.
Now we're just... Stephon Ubell has said he's never been there.
All right, I have Kelsey gone, my second tight end.
Wow!
You don't have one tight end going yet.
No.
All right.
Makes no sense.
All right.
Kelsey's a great player. I don't see it. Although now I see it. The Grimsley Bear comes up. Grimsley Bear's got Melvin Gordon. He's got ODB. So he's got arguably, and this is arguable, we could debate this all night.
We could.
He's got the best running back, debatable. He's got the best wide receiver, debatable.
Yep.
Now he says, oh, here's Gronk. There's no question. There's no debate about this. He's the best tight end. So he goes ahead and grabs him, capitalizes it all, and he's got a solid threesome.
Threesome?
With all dudes.
That turned the corner. All right. I have Tyreek. Nope, not Tyreek. Nope. Adam Thielen going next.
Oh, Jesus. It's getting balls hot in here, Roscoe. Balls
we
hot.
can put the AC back on.
No, because the family, the friends wouldn't be able to see it.
No, yeah. That'll be good.
Can you guys hear? This is live.
It's fine.
Can you hear? Thank Jesus. All right, we'll talk a little louder. Next up, we got Jake the Snake. Masturbation. Oh, actually, I go on a little bit of a tight end kick here.
Oh.
So I was literally like one pick behind you on that.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
I think, again, Jake is in a similar situation. So this will be interesting because I think Antonio makes a lot of sense for him early. He's already got DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think there's a running back in here that he goes with. I think he decides, screw the running back, similar to his strategy last year.
Yeah.
We'll put together some pieces, and I'm going to draft Kelsey in the second round.
I'm going to put, in the second round, Jake picking Darren McFadden.
It's happened before.
Just kidding. Jerick McKinnon goes here. That was last year.
Yes.
He took Darren McFadden in the second round.
It could still happen. Who knows? All right, Snoots, why don't you lead us off with Snoots? I feel like... All
right, Snooter Badooter is going to take Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzy goes to Snootsy.
I think... Fitzy to Snootsy. I don't think there's any doubt if this player... If Snoots has the opportunity to draft this player, what happens? What happens every year? Snoots wears... It's 95 degrees out. Snoots throws his Miami Dolphins starter jacket on. It's
Got
balls
to.
hot, and he reaches about a round too early for a Dolphins player. That player this year is Kenyon Drake. He picks him right here with the second pick. So he now has Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, and he's got Jordy Nelson as his keeper.
Wow, okay. I finally have Doug Baldwin coming off my board here. Slipped a little bit, in my opinion.
I think that's a slip. I also do think, from Jed's standpoint, he's got a love affair with him.
He does.
He won a championship together.
He's got his quarterback.
He's got his quarterback.
Yep.
There's some. It's not sexy. Again, it's not sexy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have
But
sex with Doug.
he's consistent.
But he wants to be consistently
We don't
with
know.
him.
We don't know.
He wants to be consistently with him.
Yeah,
That's all.
I got you.
All right, so the second pick for, who we got? Brendan?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Brendan always seems to do something a little stupid. Usually at this point in the draft, either he made a mistake or he's way too drunk and has no idea who he's picking. And I think that this happens pretty early this year. I think he gets called into surgery. He's not even a surgeon. He's flustered. And he ends up picking the late, great Jay Ajayi,
Wow.
which I think is a foolish pick.
Yeah.
But I think that the way I would look at it from Brendan's standpoint is he's already got Barkley. He's thinking, I need to go running back, get another running back within one of these two picks.
Right.
And I don't know who the next best one on the board is.
Yeah. I hear you.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah. That'd be shocking if a guy goes that early.
I think it could happen.
All right.
And I think it will.
All right. Next up, I got Amari Cooper in the third round.
Mark Cooper had like 17 points all season.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all potential.
That would be very much a Brendan pick.
It's all potential.
All right, so for me, where did you have T.Y. Hilton going? To Brian?
B-Mac, yep.
So
Middle
that's a
second
little bit
round.
of a drop.
A little bit.
I see T.Y. going here.
Okay.
I think Brendan, at this point, doesn't have a choice. He's got to take a wide receiver. He does have a little bit of a love affair with Andrew Luck, as we know. I think that he thinks that there's a resurgence there once Luck comes back.
All right. Then next up, I have Snoots. Taking Kenyon Drake here.
Wow!
Yep.
That is interesting.
Yep.
Very close.
But Dolphins.
You know what else is crazy? So the Dolphin connection, clear. I think after he goes a little crazy and does this, he needs to calm his nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
He needs some stability. And he goes with Larry
Oh,
Fitzgerald.
wow. So same.
So very similar,
Yeah.
just different rounds.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have Jake keeping DeAndre Hopkins, then Grim keeping Melvin Gordon. Then next up we have Rag or Dagger, and I think Rag has been watching Hard Knocks and goes with Jarvis Landry.
I like that. I think from my standpoint, I see Rag in this situation, right? He's got Kareem Hunt. He's got his speed guy, right?
Yep.
And then he's got another running back. But he sees an opportunity with Alex Collins,
Wow.
the number one running back for the Baltimore Ravens, and he says, you know what, this might, again, it's not sexy. No one's having sex with him. We know that. Alex Collins is not, he's dry humping the pillow, but he's also going in the third round to the Regal one.
All right.
For some stability.
Yeah.
Because Hunt and Diggs, they're coin flips. Collins, you know you're getting 10 points.
Yeah.
That's
that
what I
can
think
provide
is,
stability.
I think that's the mentality.
I now have Derrick Henry coming off the board. So he fell a little bit on my board.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Compared to yours.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11.
Yeah.
He still ends up with Byron.
That's true.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting there.
He loves Tennessee running backs.
Loves Tennessee. That is honestly true. So I think that here, Byron has a little bit of flexibility. He's got a stud wide receiver. He's got 2 running backs already, one of which is a top guy.
Yeah.
I think now is when the first quarterback comes off the board.
Okay.
I think he goes with Aaron Rodgers right here. It gives him a leg up in that position. He's already got a leg up from the Kamara standpoint, Julio, and you got Derrick Henry. I think that's a good pick for him.
Okay. Next up, we got Jedediah, and I think Jed is taking Demaryius Thomas. New quarterback in there. Maybe throws him the ball.
Maybe doesn't. I don't know. We have no idea. Maybe
We
he
have no
can't
idea.
reach.
He might get injured.
He may not be able to throw. He may quit. People are retiring these days.
Yeah.
So I think, from Jed's standpoint, he's got Baldwin, he's got his quarterback, he's got a running back. I think that he takes a little bit of a risk, and I think to me, this is where Cooper comes off the board.
Okay.
And it makes sense. You've got some stability with Baldwin, and now let's go a little risque, if you will.
Risque?
Yeah, very risque.
All right. And Jimbo, you're up next.
I do not pick.
I'm going to go with Tom Brady in the 3rd round.
Not a bad pick.
You wouldn't hate it.
It's the greatest pick of all time. It's the greatest pick of all time.
And then Johnny's up next.
Johnny Dimebag, at this point, he's got Gordon, he's got Hill, he's got Mixon. The locker is absolute, it's disheveled. It's a mess. He's got to get some stability. He's got to bring somebody in who knows his role and plays that role. And that guy is Mark Ingram. I think that guy is Mark Ingram
Really?
for him. I also think that Mark Ingram is going to have a terrible season. And it's just the kind of pick that would make sense for John, where he's got a couple of guys that maybe they have a
He's suspended
a
the first 2 weeks.
Oh, I know.
But he usually shares carries with Kamara, so we'll see.
So it's not, that's my point, it's
Yeah.
not a good pick,
Yeah.
but there is some locker room stability.
Yep,
I think
I
he
got
goes
you.
with Ingram.
I got you. Okay. Next up, I have my 3rd tight end coming off the board. Zach Ertz is going to Johnny. 2 tight ends, by the way. 2 out of 3. There is a flex position, so Johnny's putting Ertz in the flex.
Oh, that would be great. That's good stuff. 2 tight ends and a quarterback.
Yep.
He's
punting on running back and receiver.
no running back through the first 3 rounds in your mock draft.
Yep.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right. Good TV. That's good TV. Ross is up next. Ross, this is a guy who I feel like you end up with every year. He's not white, but he plays like a white running back. That's Lamar Miller.
I do end up with him every year.
And
I have his quarterback too. So
yeah, I think it makes sense. I can see it happening.
Yep. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, I have.
JK's got
JK
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
It's his keeper.
And then Matt, I have taking Royce Freeman, Denver.
That is hysterical. I have him taking Royce Freeman
Really?
to Denver as well.
Wow.
And let me tell you what my theory is on this.
Okay.
So he's gone stability
Yep.
with Devontae Adams and Keenan Allen.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I got to get a fucking keeper.
Yeah.
These guys have such an advantage. It took him 2 rounds and maybe like 6 or 7 Coors Lights, but
That's
now
true.
he's starting to think to himself, holy shit,
He's got potential.
I got to feed my family.
Yeah.
I need to win this league.
Yeah.
And I think it's Royce.
Got a new baby?
What's his last name? Freeman?
Royce Freeman?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Royce Freeman. Devontae Booker also there, so there'll be a timeshare.
Timeshare a little bit, but I do think that makes sense.
All right, and then next up we have Andy. I have Andy taking Allen Robinson out of Chicago.
I think Andy, I could see him taking Allen Robinson and thinking he still played for Jacksonville.
Probably.
So that completely makes sense.
And then Al's the last pick after that.
Let me make my pick for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I think there's no question, and you had touched on this earlier, and I think it's a little bit of a fall from where you were. There's no question that Andy spends a lot of time watching Hard Knocks.
Yep.
And he sees
No doubt.
Jarvis Landry give one speech that people said was remarkable. I thought it was a horrible speech.
Yeah, me
he
too.
just swore a bunch.
Yeah, he just yelled. Yeah.
Guys, just go get him.
Yeah.
But I think Andy was inspired by that.
Mm.
I think he was inspired, and I think he ends up taking him because he likes the TV show that he's on. And he's got, look, the other thing from my board, he's got Zeke, he's got McCoy, he's got to go wide receiver.
Yeah, I
Makes
hear you.
sense.
All right, and then Albert, last pick in the 3rd round, I'm going to say Golden Tate. Detroit.
There's no Tate more golden than his. I don't see that happening. I think Demaryius Thomas is a good option for him here. He's got A.J. Green. He's got Howard. He's got Freeman. Now he has another solid 10 to 12 point wide receiver every week. So I think it's Demaryius motherfucker and Thomas.
Wow. All right. So there you have it.
That's the big board, guys. Let's just go through real quick the keepers. You want to pull that up just so, and we'll
Yep.
send this out so everybody has them.
This is in order.
This is in order. Todd Gurley in the first round. Ezekiel Elliott also in the first round from Andy. Jake takes DeAndre Hopkins in the third. Grim's going with Melvin Gordon in the third for the second year. JK for the second year has Le'Veon Bell. That's in the third round. Albert for the 25th year takes Devontae Freeman. That is in the fourth round. Rag has David Johnson. This is his final year of keeper eligibility in the fifth round. Jed is going to go with Russell Wilson in the sixth round for nobody understands that logic. Ross is going to go with free agent Deshaun Watson. He gets that in the 12th. John goes with free agent Josh Gordon, also in the 12th. BMAC takes Alvin Kamara, an excellent pick. Probably the best keeper undoubtedly this year. Snoots didn't have any other options, so he goes with Jordy Nelson in the 12th round. Brendan takes Carson Wentz in the 12th round. And then Matt Kaler, still looking for his first keeper. Maybe year 3 will be the year for that.
A couple of notes here. 7 running backs, 3 receivers, 3 quarterbacks. There were 5 kept from last year, 3 free agents from last year, and 5 new keepers this year.
You know what it does show me, there's a couple things, just real quickly, is if you draft well and your keeper maintains that level of stability that you anticipate him having, it's pretty likely you're going to keep him for another year.
That's true.
Pretty likely.
Yep.
Well, guys, we're looking forward to it. We'll see most of you down in Fredericksburg on Saturday. And then the draft, of course, is scheduled for Sunday evening, 6 p.m. on NFL.com. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. The
site's live.
The site is live. The board is updated. We are looking forward to it. Another great season of APHP football.
Let's do it. Just a week away.
Just a week away.
Good luck.
Good luck to no one.
Later.